Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, all you beautiful beings of light. How are you all today? Oh my goodness. What a beautiful, beautiful day. We are here live for Sunday Morning Coffee with Caryn, episode 77. 77. That's such a good angel number. I love it. Super powerful. Let's see. Do I have one second while I grab the book? Come on, Caryn. I did have it. I'm here. I'm live. So today we're gonna be today's episode is gonna be so good. So today we're gonna be talking a lot about first, actually, let's back up about this 77. So 7 is the number for spiritual path. So knowing that you are on your spiritual path, that you're on your way, right? That you're going forward on your way despite what other people might be doing. So this being the 77th episode, 77 being one of my favorite angel numbers, 7 being a number that has guided me for literally years and years, I know that today's episode is going to be super powerful. Good afternoon, Christopher. Yes, I know there's so many of you all over the world. Some of you it's afternoon, some of it's evening, some of you it's 4 a.m. I have lots of you living down in the Australia and you still stay awake for me every single week. I love you. Cheers to you. So let's start this morning. Just get a little bit centered. Rub our hands together. Taking a nice deep breath. Now raise your hands up and over your head and clap and bring that energy down into your chakra pillars all the way down. So good. So good. Okay, so we're going to start by lighting our candle. As always, we're going to light the candle. We're going to light our candle with the intention. It doesn't matter how big your candle is, guys. Today I got a tea light. Lighting our candle with the intention of clear communication now that Mercury is direct. Hell yeah. And really truly tuning into the power of our mission on this planet being so much bigger than us and really being able to step out of our own personal lives and become the spectator of our personal life and move forward with unconditional love for the entire planet and all of humanity. So we're going to just set our candle down, grab your incense, lighting your incense from the candle that you set your intention with, so that the intention is now infused, right? The lights. This is what we do, guys. We literally have our own little flame, our own tiny little flame, and then we light the flame of others with that, right? It's an amazing analogy for what we do. Just weaving the incense. This is yellow rose, so solar plexus, but also rose, right? So really high vibration, unconditional love, weaving it in that figure 8 motion, bringing all polarities into the singularity, creating the sacred container in this time and space for us to gather as superconscious leaders, as the 144,000 in this beautiful golden age. So today I wanted to start, actually, I don't do this very often, but today I really felt called to start with reading for you a quote from the Sophia Dragons. So this book, it's called The Sophia Code. It's written by Caryn. It is not for everyone. I know a lot of you have tried reading it and it's just not for you. Totally fine. It is really powerful if you can get through the human that wrote this. So if you can look past the human, Caryn, who wrote this book, and actually just tune into the divinity that she channeled, this book is super powerful. My work actually begins in the Sophia Dragon tribe, like in the Sophia Dragons chapter. So the final chapter, this is key code 777 of the Sophia Code. You might know the Sophia Code as your crystalline DNA, as your upgraded DNA, this spiral line of DNA within you that once your Kundalini has been awakened and solidified and you've come into that divine union, you're able to activate all of your superpowers, right? You're able to activate these superhuman powers, but they're really your superconscious resources that all of us have access to. So I want to find the sentence that I really want. Okay. We are here to declare that humanity's next spiritual evolution is to reconcile within its divine inheritance of the Sophia Code, to embody its own sovereignty, and to actively take up the mantle and ministry of Sophia Christ consciousness. We call this a revolution because it will require embodying an unconditional divine love that is wise, wrathful, devout, and resolute to completely dissolve humanity's addiction to duality. Okay, this is the work. Dissolving humanity's addiction to duality, dissolving humanity's addiction to suffering, releasing the whole of humanity from the illusion of samsara, even though samsara and nirvana really exist simultaneously. That's once you realize it, right? For those who are still suffering, suffering is an addiction to them. I literally spent yesterday morning with a dear, dear friend, helping him come back from the edge. He had had a really bad night the night before. He blew a whole bunch of money. He did a whole bunch of coke. He did a whole bunch of drinking, made a whole lot of really poor choices. But they were still his choice to make. But he knew that he was he was so disassociated. Like, why am I making these choices? What am I doing? Like, I know that I'm not supposed to do this, and yet I'm doing it anyway. That's an addiction, right? I'm able to make that more clear because I use the word cocaine and alcohol. So you're like, oh, okay, yeah, those are addictions. But it's the suffering that came with it, right? And I sat with him in his room, and we smoked a little bit of cannabis, and we sat there. We did breath work, we did meditation, and we were able to raise the vibration of his consciousness to a point where he could go to sleep. He hadn't even slept yet because he was so in his mind, all the chatter in the skull about his own personal life. Now, this is someone who takes all of my gorgeous photos. The person who's literally been around just as long as Dylan has with this whole crazy twin flame thing. I literally met my photographer 2 days before I started taking the sound healing training that literally changed my life. So having the opportunity to sit there with him and do the work one-on-one, mano a mano, with a dear, dear friend, there was no merit. I wasn't receiving anything. This was me showing up as the embodiment of Christ's light to be there, just be there, just to share, just to sit with him. This is the work, right? This is our ability to emanate what we know. It's not to sit here and preach it to people. It's to actually go and be it. Go be the change you want to see in the world, okay? But that takes having that unconditional divine love that is wise and wrathful and devout and resolute. In this week's Superconscious Leaders live stream that we do every Thursday at noon inside the Superconscious Leaders Facebook group, we're going to be doing our full moon ritual all about how to turn our wrath into our passion. So it's going to kind of be piggybacking off of this live stream. I really want you guys to understand, though, that there's another here. Your endless wars will never be won on the age-old battlegrounds of duality. Your dark ages of rape, genocide, and greed will not be healed by more centuries of victimhood. Blaming your government will not stop the devastating pollution of your planet. The slavery of human trafficking will not end in your corrupt court systems. Famine will continue to thrive in the dualistic thinking that perpetuates another starving outside your own personal reality. No matter how these issues may enrage, confound, or sadden you, your feelings can be gathered in a great momentum that bypasses the minefields of duality. You can harness the passion of what you feel as fuel for a spiritual revolution that will require a great stamina for the steadfast embodiment of your Sophia Christ light. This is your lifetime to lead as a beacon of attunement for others. That is huge. I could literally stop the live stream right now and you could just sit with that. We know the world is fucked. We know this. We know the world is fucked. So why do we sit here and cry about it and blame our governments and blame the system? So many of you come into my inbox and you tell me about your personal wars and battles with the man and with the system. And you're so angry and you're so focused on me, my life. What's going on in my life? What's happening in my life? You know, what personal attacks are happening to me? And you're not seeing that what's happening to you is a reflection of what's happening in the grander world. What's happening to you is what's happening to everyone, right? So truly connecting into this understanding that everything that's fucked up in the world is the dualistic paradigm, which we are here to change, right? We are here to change that as superconscious leaders. We are here to awaken the 144,000s of biblical times, right? Some people saw my post the other day and they're like, what's the 144,000? I was like, go Google it. Literally, go Google, go read the passage from Revelations. Like, this is the time of Revelation. The book of Revelation is literally happening right now. Revelation 12 and 13 talks about a red dragon coming down from the sky chasing a pregnant woman, and Archangel Michael is battling the dragon. That in and of itself is something that Dylan and I could sit there and talk about for about 12 hours, probably. And we might eventually, in all of the different things that we're going to be creating for you over the next several years, right? This is not a short-term game, guys. This is not a go and build something and in a year it's going to be fully grown. This is setting the foundation. This is building it all with patience. This is turning this house that we've been building, that we barely still have the scaffolding up for new earth. We have the scaffolding up. We got some walls up. Maybe we got a little bit of the frame, but we don't have what so many light workers want to do, is just come in and start fucking decorating new earth. We're not ready for that yet. We are still building it piece by piece. And we are coming together in community to do that. This is not just a personal thing, right? So much bigger than you is actually step 6 of super conscious living, which is the process that I teach all of my clients, there's a whole course that you can take on it. And we start with this idea that believing is seeing. And then we go through this whole wobbles and scattered phase where we're just totally like freaking out. We don't know what's going on. We don't know right from left, left from right. We go through a total breakdown, the tower moment. Just everything in our world crashes around us. And then we have to sit in the goo. And a lot of us have been sitting in the goo, especially since the 12/21 grand conjunction. We've literally been like, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I know that we're in a new age. We're in the age of Aquarius, but how exactly do I disconnect from my old belief systems that I created in the Piscean age that were handed to me through my genetic coding through the Piscean age? And now that we're in the age of Aquarius, how do I choose different? How you choose differently in the age of Aquarius is to realize that this is so much bigger than you. After you're sitting in the goo, you sit there and you start just taking one little step and another little step and just taking all these tiny little movements. Just the next right thing. What's the next right thing I can do? What's the next? And eventually, once you've done enough little right things, you gain the momentum to realize that all those things that you're doing in your own personal life are so much bigger than you. Exponentially large. Infinitely huge. You are working on yourself on an infinitesimal level, on a very personal, inner, deep inner, changing all those tiny little conversations in your head that I can't, I won't, I'm not able to, I don't. And you're shifting those to I can, I am, I will, I do. That's the infinitesimal, that's the tiny, that's the micro. And as you're doing the micro, you are literally reshaping the neurology of your brain and the light that you are emitting from the biophotons. Your brain emits 1 billion biophotons a second. And as you open your pineal gland, as you open your third eye more, you start emitting more and more biophotons. The average person walking around, the average person that is not awake, is emitting 1 billion biophotons a second. Now, what if you are awakened? Multiple billions of biophotons, meaning you absolutely are shifting the course of reality with every thought you think. A couple days ago, I went live from the Capitol and I was talking about how we can often sit here and manifest things in a low vibration. We think about slipping on the ice, and 5 seconds later, we slip on the ice. That's because we're in vibrational resonance with slipping on the ice. When you're in a higher vibration, first of all, you're never going to think I'm going to slip on the ice. You're thinking I'm walking on sunshine, I'm walking on air, my feet aren't even touching the fucking ground. But beyond that, you start to connect to my feet aren't even touching the ground, and that's how you start to levitate. We have countless records of humans capable of transcending regular consciousness and being able to levitate, being able to bilocate, being able to have telepathic communications. Telepathy, I'm going to give you a trick right now for those of you who are like, I want to be telepathic. Telepathy is higher heart to higher heart conversation. You can be telepathic with anyone alive or dead. You can sit here and have a channeling conversation with your mother you haven't spoken to in 20 years, telepathically, higher heart to higher heart, and know within every fiber of your being that this is the truth. And you can heal that relationship without ever speaking to her in the 3D. It's possible. I see it happen all the time. Why are we so addicted to suffering? Because that is what we've been trained. We've been trained to be addicted to suffering. Our epigenetics, 14 generations back. Let's think about what was happening 14 generations ago. That's the time of the American Revolution. The world was shifting. The world was turned upside down by the American Revolution. And for those of us who are American, that's in our bones. That's within us, that American dream. But the American dream is a whole bunch of bullshit right now because the social mobility of Americans is worse than some countries in Africa. France is one of the most conservative nations on this planet, and the social mobility in France is 3 to 4 times greater than the social mobility in America, and America's not very conservative compared to France. When you realize the lies that we've been being told, the chatter in the skull that is occurring, we realize that yes, our deep inner work is important, but you gotta be it. You gotta show the fuck up every day. You have to stand in the mirror and pound on your chest. I am Dragon Empress Caryn. I am here to set the world on fire. I am here to be a way shower. And I do. I have a mirror right there, a full-length mirror that I stand in the mirror and I do that. And guess what? The days that I don't do that are the days that I tend to fall and crumble. And if I don't do that for weeks, if I let my practice slip for weeks and weeks and weeks, then I slip further and further and further back down. The discipline, the relentless focus and discipline necessary to counter the minefields of duality exist in the mind. But as you do that, you become the shift in the vibrational frequency of our planet that will ultimately change. We will hit a critical mass point where more people realize that dualism is an addiction and choose instead unlimited love, bliss, and success. Instead, choose to be a conduit for unconditional love. Unconditional. That's the part you have to understand. You can look heartless, and it's actually coming from a space of unconditional love because you've created enough space in your own field to recognize what someone else needs. A guru gives his students what they need, not what they desire, but what they need. Sometimes that can look heartless. Sometimes that can feel to the student that their heart is breaking when really the guru is giving them an opportunity to crack their heart open even wider. Okay? Let me just check the comments on Instagram. Sorry, guys, I still haven't figured out a better way to do this. Hello, gorgeouses. Okay. Hi, Melissa. Hi, everyone. So, why do we do this? Why are we doing this? Why does it fucking matter? Because so many of us are still stuck in our head. And yes, I say us. I had a hell of a fucking week, guys. I'm not even going to go into it because it doesn't matter anymore because it's in the past. And there's 7 people watching now. It's in the past, and so it doesn't matter at all. because I've worked through it. I've moved through it. But the way that I move through, the way that my clients move through energy, I'll tell you one thing that happened. We had a pipe get clogged going out to the sewer. Thought it was going to be a $10,000 fix. Turns out it's a $20,000 fix. 20 grand. All of a sudden, like that. My old self was freaking the fuck out. Freaking out. Blah! And I had to move through that energy, take the chaos of all of that, sit in it, harness it, and remind myself it's not my job to fix this house right now. My husband agreed to take on all of that responsibility. My husband figured out how to get the money. My husband went and opened his line of credit. He did all of that. We recently just separated our finances fully so that we can feel much more independent. We were a very, very codependent couple. We got married when we were 20 years old. Like, it's very common. But now that we've grown and we've evolved, it's his job. It's his house. It's his problem. I live here. This is my house too. I definitely live here. It's the house that I grew up in, but it's creating that separation, right? It's creating the separation to create the space to then unconditionally love him and appreciate the fact that I live here. Appreciate the fact that I am still welcome in this home, to appreciate that he's going to take care of a problem that we didn't actually need to fix. But if it had gotten any worse, it wouldn't have been a 20 grand fix. It would have been a 70, 80, 90, $100,000 fix. Because as soon as it gets past my property and actually out into the street, huge, 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 huge amounts of money would have been spent to fix it. The pipes bursting. This is one of the most common things that happen to my clients. Water-related issues. Leaky pipes, pipes bursting, pipes freezing, whatever. It's because we're clearing the pipes, right? We're clearing out all of the clogs in our own personal field as we're doing our work. And very often it will reflect out into our other reality to see if we can handle it, if we can actually transmute on the spot the chaos that occurs when pipes burst, because that's one of the most chaotic things that you can ever have happen, or when there's a clog or whatever. Being able to sit in that energy, right? To sit in the breakdown, like breaking down my old belief. I used to be the one that was in charge of all the finances. I was the one that would have been in charge of figuring that out 6 months ago. But that's not where we are now. Right now, that's a Ryan thing to do. So I had to dismantle that identity, dismantle the savior Caryn who goes and pulls money out of thin air to figure this shit out, and just let it be. Just let it be, give it space, love on him, love on the pipes, love on the house, love on the construction workers, love on myself, and realize that this is just an opportunity for me to learn and to grow. That was one of about 50 things that happened this week that caused me to stop and take pause. Am I actually showing up? Am I actually being all that I preach to be? And honestly, I haven't been. And I'm willing to call myself out. But the reason why I haven't been was because I've been so focused on the microcosm of my life, the pure insanity and chaos of my life for the last 6 months since I met my twin flame and have been forced into the divine mission to a higher and higher level, because Dylan was already at that level. Already going, already activating the 144,000, already going and healing the world through sound. He's the heart, I'm the womb. We have to learn from each other. Heart womb leadership means to enlighten, to shed light on the creations that we have that will lead humanity into this new age. We're not building the bridge. We're showing humanity that the bridge is already built, and we're being the way showers for them to cross over. Well, not cross over, but like cross over into New Earth. Because New Earth already exists, right? The reason why I say that we only have the framework up of New Earth is because there's only so many of us currently inhabiting. We haven't reached critical mass consciousness yet, right? Yes, hell yeah, Carla. Good. Heart of Texas. I know you guys have been, my heart goes out to all you Texans and the pipes and the freezing and your government. Like, again, we can blame our government, but it's not going to get fixed in our corrupt court systems. We need leaders, okay? Let's wrap this around, shall we? And I've had electricity the entire time. See, Carla's the perfect example. I know people who were talking about, this is a great example. We'll just use this real quick and then we'll move on. Of someone who super high consciousness, and she was talking to her sister about how it's really possible that she might lose power. And the next morning, she woke up to no power and was like, what the fuck? And went and jumped in the shower really quick while she still had hot water. And while she was in the shower, realized, oh fuck, I made this. I literally created this because I spent 30 minutes on the phone with my sister yesterday entertaining the idea that maybe. And then she manifested it and she created it. She vibrated at that level because so many other people were in that level of I don't have electricity, I don't have power, I don't have hot water, I don't have all of this stuff. That's like really heavy. It's really like magnetizing right now. The fact that she went and played in that magnetized it to her, right? Really quickly. Within 2 hours of breath work, mirror work, raising her vibe, walking around, talking to her kids, saying, yeah, let's think about how cool it is when we have power, their power got turned back on. Other people in their neighborhood still didn't have power, but her power was back on because she raised her vibration again, raised it back to the reality where they had power, and she created the power, generated it from her own ability to generate light. Because we are energy. We are energy condensed into matter. Energy and matter just change states, cannot actually destroy it. But a lot of us, remember Monday, a lot of us like to throw pipe bombs at our life. And this week, what I've been reminded of very, very much so is that line from the Pocahontas song, Colors of the Wind. The line that says, how high will the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And so many of us dragons love to cut down our sycamore trees. We plant that bitch, we water it, it starts growing. It's a little tiny little sapling tree, and we go and rip it the fuck out. Why? Because we're still stuck in this old narrative. We're still so focused on us, our own personal life. We don't think about how that tree is affecting the other plants around it. We're not thinking about how that tree is actually giving oxygen, not just to us, but to everyone. That tree isn't just soaking in carbon dioxide from us, but from everyone. This is what I mean when we plant our seeds of consciousness and we watch that tree grow. We are affecting change on a global level as those roots go deeper and deeper and start interconnecting with the roots of other super conscious leaders around the world. We are creating an interdependent web of life that is different and separate from the current one of pure duality. This root system that we are building, this house that we are turning into a home in all of the world, this new earth is being built, yes, individually, but as we come together. It's as we grow together that we become the stronger magnet, right? What if there were more people in Texas thinking about how they do have power than those who don't? You could shift the whole consciousness of the whole state to have power again. But most Texans are addicted to suffering. It's okay. Most of humanity still is, right? We talk about the 144,000 because if you do the math, 144,000 people, if each one of them takes on the ability to radiate their heart, their unconditional love outwards, they can affect 70 million people. 70 million times 144,000 equals about 10 billion, 9 billion something. That's going to be how many people are on this planet when we actually are able to shift all of consciousness to new earth and have that new paradigm. And what will we have there? Well, we'll have what a lot of us already have right now, which is unlimited happiness, unlimited wealth, unlimited success, right? We were able to pay for that pipe. No fucking problem. It's fixed. It's done. Well, it's not actually done yet, but we paid for it. They're coming next week to fix it. But I don't have to think about it. I'm not stressing about it. I'm not even worried about it. It's done. Because I detached from my identity as being the one that needs to fix it. Let my husband be the support and be the protector. That's his fucking job. That's what he signed up for. And I've been able to move through my own things. I use the word electricity instead of power. We always have power. Ooh, yes, electricity. What if everyone in the state of Texas believed that they had electricity? I like that, Carla. See, reframe. See those little tiny reframes, right? That's the micro. That's the stuff that's the next right thing step, right? In super conscious living. Just the next right thing. Just making those tiny little tweaks. Saying electricity instead of power. Those sorts of things. What we want to then do is see how that shift is affecting on a global scale. This mission of changing your own mindset, of changing your own neurology, is so much bigger than you. So much bigger than you. Because this is the whole world. We are shifting the whole world away from this addiction. But it's going to take us being wise and wrathful and devout and resolute, right? That wrath, that anger that you feel towards the system can be converted, but not when you keep playing the blame game with the system and how your life is fucked. There's a couple of you on here, a couple of people that have been following me for years who are still literally in the same spot, still trying to leave the ex, trying to leave the boyfriend, still trying to move, still trying to get the money because you're so focused on what you're leaving behind. Holy shit, okay. You're so focused. You guys know that I get excited when I shift around. So many of you are like, what am I leaving? I'm leaving the marriage. I'm leaving the poor state. I'm leaving scarcity. I'm leaving this. But you're not actually leaving it because you're focused so much on the fact that you're leaving it. Right? Where energy goes, where energy flows, that's what grows, right? So many of you have focused on what you are leaving that you actually are stuck in that cage. You're so stuck. Look at this fucking cage that I'm in. I'm in this cage. I gotta get out of my cage. Oh my gosh, this cage. I'm in this cage. Holy shit, I'm in this cage. Oh my god, get me out of this cage. You keep reinforcing the cage every time you talk about it. Instead of where you're leaving, think about where you're going. Right? This is the real trick to the law of attraction. This is the hack. You want a law of attraction hack right now? I call myself the LOA hacker. This is it. Where are you going on your path? You are a way shower for all of humanity. Where are you going? I'm going into this home that is filled with all these beautiful pieces of furniture and fine art. I'm going to this office that has everything that I need to create the studio, to create these live events, these courses, and all of these things. I'm going to be traveling the world on my own private jet, performing on stages for hundreds of thousands of people, teaching and singing and healing the world through sound. I'm going forward as a way shower, keeping my light burning bright at all times. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't get mad. Remember, we harness our energy, we harness the wrath and convert it into passion, which again, we're going to be actually doing that in the full moon ritual on Thursday at noon inside Superconscious Leaders. If you are not in the Facebook group yet, it's always available on YouTube for the replay, but get in the Facebook group, Superconscious Leaders, the group. I'll leave a link on the Facebook. It's Instagram. It links in my bio. Facebook, I'm going to leave it right here for you to join for those of you who aren't already in it. And let's take some questions. Anyone have anything that's coming up for you right now? This is really, it's not that big of a concept, but it's super important that we really understand that our own personal lives, our own little life that we're creating as we're growing, as we really are that tree of life. We are a tree, right? We're rooting down, rooting all the way down into Gaia, being a conduit for consciousness to move through our own human body. It's the reason why you guys always see me posting about the solar codes, right? What am I doing when I'm walking around in the light? Why do I walk around barefoot even though it's fucking 30 degrees outside, right? It's because I know my body is energy. I know that I'm just energy condensed into matter and that I can be a conduit. So I allow the solar codes, the codes of plasma consciousness, higher unity, divine love consciousness to come through our sun, through the closest star, through my body. I pick up whatever I need, but the amount that I actually personally need for my own personal life is about 0.001% of the solar codes that actually come in. The other 99.999% is coming through my body, and I'm actually pushing it through my feet into the global web of consciousness as a web weaver, a blueprint deliverer. I'm delivering the blueprint of New Earth through my body and weaving it. So walking barefoot in the sun at least 10 minutes a day, that's a really potent practice that you can do, right? Using my hands to bless my food if I'm eating something that I don't know if it's 100% organic or where it came from, right? I didn't grow it. I don't know what's in it. Using my hands to blast light through it and clear all of the crap out of my food before I eat it, because I'm converting the energy, the matter of my food into the energy I need. It needs to be vibrating at the same energy as me, or it's going to give me a fucked up stomach. I can convert anything into what I desire to eat, right? I'm a vegan 99, I'd say 95% of the time, but every once in a while my body really craves fish. I love sushi. I love it. So if I see a roll that's really calling to me from a good restaurant that I know it's well sourced, all of this stuff, I sit there and I blast the fuck out of it, and I don't have a fucked up stomach afterwards. Lots of people who eat only plant-based for months and months and months and then switch and eat even a little bit of fish, their stomach will get totally fucked. And it's because they don't know how to use alchemy. They don't know how to use their energy bodies. This is what I'm doing in my own personal life, but as I'm doing that, I'm actually emitting a frequency in the entire restaurant, and I'm raising the entire vibration of the restaurant, right? When people are looking at you in the restaurant, when people are looking at you in the supermarket, don't think that they're judging you. They literally can't keep their eyes off of you because you are so bright and shiny. Some of them are going to be triggered. It's like when you first walk outside and you're like, oh shit, where are my sunglasses? It's so fucking bright, right? That's okay. It's because they haven't done the work within themselves. You're bright and shiny and it triggers them. That's okay. Walking around as a walking trigger, totally a normal part for those of us who are super conscious leaders, for those of us who are answering the dragon's call of the 144,000. You've taught me that my thoughts and intentions is my reality. Thank you. You're so welcome. That's another tweak with the term plant-based versus vegan, because I'm vegan about 95% of the time. Yeah, exactly. I'm plant-based, right? I actually hardly use the word vegan because of all of the political connotations to it, right? I'm pretty sure that I own a leather coat, like an actual leather coat. It's comfortable as fuck. It keeps me warm. I live in Utah. I'm not going to get rid of my coat just because it was made from an animal. Also knowing that animals and humans have had that contract for all of humanity. There's literally no such thing as 100% plant-based community. There are lots of communities out there, especially indigenous ones, that eat bugs only, right? They eat very, very little meat, but they still eat other animals. And then if you think about the fact, trees are alive too. So, that whole thing. Like Hollywood can be based on, yeah, just like based on a true story, and then you go and Google the true story and you're like, this is not the fucking movie I just watched. Okay. I'm gonna check Instagram again. Sorry, Facebook. Okay, here you are. Wrathful, I'm so excited to learn more about. I'm feeling the fire. Preach. Thank you. Yes, you are so welcome, Melissa. Powerful Earth Goddess. You are too. You're a powerful Earth Goddess. Remember, everyone out there, let's just take a moment to remember everything you see within me is a reflection of you. Okay? Everything. If you're seeing me right now and you're just like, oh, preach it, love it, get it, vibe it, that's you coming back out. If you're like, oh my god, who the fuck is this bitch? Just remember, you can kindly fuck off and follow me if you would like. But also, if you're triggered, look at the trigger. There's a reason why I actually don't get a ton of trolls. It's because I'm not available for that shit. I was for years, but I'm not anymore. I'm available for what comes into my energy field. And again, the tests that come to me are because it's what I need. I am learning to be my own master. I'm learning to be my own guru. So what does the guru do? What does the guru do? The guru gives the student what the student needs, not necessarily what the student desires, right? That can be huge. Yes, Carla, they're not judging you. I will walk into a room, this is no shit, I'm not lying. And I get like, this was before I shaved my head. A lot of people are like, yeah, you shave your head. You're this woman who shaves her head. Before I shaved my head, when I still had my long hair, I would go to networking. So this was pre-lockdown. I would go to networking events, and I guarantee you, every networking event, there'd be like 100, 150 people. Throughout the course of that networking event, at least 5 people would come up to me at any of these events and say, I am so sorry, but I can't stop staring at you. Or, hey, I'm sure you noticed that I was looking at you. Who are you? What do you do? This magnet that they get drawn to me like, oh my God, who are you? I need to talk to you. And I'm sure for every one of those people that actually had the courage to come and talk to me, there was probably at least one other that was too afraid, that was literally like, I have no idea what she is. Yes, I can't stop staring at her, but I'm actually kind of freaked out. And then on top of that, there was also probably another person that was looking at me like, what the fuck is she? Why can't she just leave? Right? So maybe they were judging me, but it's again that trigger situation, right? That's shades, right? They had to put on their shades. I have so much light emanating from me. If they haven't ever done any inner work at all, yeah, it's going to be like huge. It's like literally looking directly at the sun. And that's fine. I'm a giant sun. Fucking Leo sun, Libra moon, Aquarius rising. My shade is bright. And it just keeps getting brighter, right? And the more I smile and the more that I lean in and the more that I just love on this life, the brighter and shinier I get. That also means that those closest to me are calling me out more when I'm not. They're like, excuse you, this isn't, it's not acceptable. I can't vibe with this. And that's me holding my own excellence standard, which we talk about a lot, right? We have to have the impeccable standards that we hold in supreme integrity as we radically trust that we are unified with divine will. That's what we do as superconscious leaders. We're not giving up our free will. We're consecrating our free will with the divine. That's a huge difference. You're not giving up your free will when you come into unity consciousness. You are making a free will decision to consecrate your will with the divine will of Sophia Christ, of God, of the universe, of the all, of Buddha, of whoever, whatever works for you. You guys know that I'm extremely non-denominational, literally have Hindu gods behind me, Egyptian gods, Christian, all of them, everyone. You come into my house, you'd be like, oh, she's just spiritual. The biggest thing I want you all to take away from this is that as you do your inner work, as you do your personal work, you are creating a shift that is absolutely changing the planet. This is the reason why Dylan and I are doing more in-person events, because our connection, for those of you who know human design, this could be interesting to you. We actually create a 9-0. So all of the open centers that he has, I have them closed, and all of the open centers I have, he has closed. So when we're together, we actually create a whole person, meaning that we emanate the highest level of what is possible for a single human to come into. Not really surprising. We are twin flames. We are the same soul, like existing in two separate bodies. But it's the reason why we love going out together, why we're doing more and more of these in-person events, why we're doing more and more together lives. He's not here this week, whatever, but like you're seeing that happening because we know that together we are strong. Alone we are strong, together we are unstoppable. And that's not just me and Dylan, this is me and you. Carla and I are stronger. We are both strong. We are strong individually, but together we're unstoppable. Douglas and I alone are strong. Together we are unstoppable. Melissa and I, Christopher and I, Christina and I, all of you watching and I, you and I together are unstoppable. We become an unstoppable force that ripples our vibration through the whole of humanity. Humanity is going through a giant global dark night of the soul. Okay? We can all agree to this, right? Humanity itself is going through a giant dark night of the soul. People are waking the fuck up every day. But if you can think about where you were in like 2017, 2015, 2017, 2019 even, 2020 was a huge year for waking up a lot of us because we were stuck in our fucking houses, really having to look at our cage that we had built around us and make a decision whether we were gonna fucking die in that cage or if we were gonna thrive and bust out of it. Tons of people woke up last year. But there are so many of you, again, in my inbox every fucking day, asking me, how do I actually shift and how do I change? And I always tell you the same thing. Do the motherfucking work. What does that mean? It doesn't mean go and do breath work. It doesn't mean go and do breath of fire for 90 minutes. It doesn't mean to do, and even naked mirror mantras. All of those are powerful. All of those will help. All of those are amazing disciplines that will help to anchor the work. But the actual work is to catch yourself when the chatter in the skull starts going negative. When you hear that I can't, nope, I can. When you hear that I don't, I do. That I'm not, I am. I won't, I will. Immediately catching yourself. When you're angry and you're pissed off because of this or that, the government did this, my brother did that, my husband did this, my kid did that, you can sit there and you can harness that chaos. You no longer have this belief that emotions are good or bad. Emotions are just energy in motion. Energy itself is neutral. Energy itself must be cultivated within us. We must have the ability to cultivate that within our womb in that dark space, right? Even men, right? You have a womb space, that sacral chakra, that center of creation, and you hold it close, but you must bring in the heart to light, to bring light to that creation and to allow that creation to continue to grow. We are the tree of life, reaching down to Gaia, sending those codes to her so that she herself can help shift consciousness. This planet is going to be making 2 jumps in dimensions from 3rd dimension to 5th dimension with all of the inhabitants on it. Karnak, the planet that surrounds Sirius B, we know the inhabitants of Karnak as the Syrian Star Nation, the Syrians, for those of you who have done work with Sirius at all. The planet Karnak is circling Sirius B in the 5th dimension. That's why we can't see it, but it's there. Go connect. Go ask Green Tara to go take you to Sirius. I promise you. It's a fucking great place to go hang out. I meditate in Sirius all the time. We are the tree that's helping to bring that shift, but we are also, not only are we the tree of life, reaching up to touch the stars, we are also the star. Remember how I pull the codes in from the sun, the closest star? We are also the star that comes down and becomes the tree of life. We are both. We are both, and we are more than that. Because we are the creator manifested in form. And we know this. We know it so well that we fucking forget it. A lot of us understand it, but we don't know it in our bones. That's what I'm here for, is to really help you anchor that Merkaba belief, to really ingrain in you that golden dragon light body. It's the reason why the bespoke dragon invocations are so fucking powerful, because we're anchoring within you the vibration of a spiritual technology known as the golden dragon light body, which is allowing for each one of your chakras to spin at a rate that emits even more light. You get even brighter. As you get brighter, there's going to be, as any light gets brighter, the shadows get darker, right? But eventually the whole light room is lit up and you can't find a shadow because the lights are hitting from all directions. We live in 3D, shadows exist, right? There's a shadow on my face now. That's okay. The shadows get to be there. We get to love on them, right? Love your triggers. Your triggers are a pocket of energy needing to be moved. Move your body more. So many people sit here and they just fucking meditate. There's Om Namo Gurudev Namo. They fucking sit here all day long. They're meditating. They're not moving. Not realizing that as energy condensed into matter, we need to move. We need to shift. We need to dance. We need to breathe. We need to expand. Do all of these things because our trauma is in our DNA, is in our cells. So as we move, we allow for more light to come in. More light comes in, we get even brighter. More people start looking at us. That's what we want. We want to be looked at. We want people to look at us in the grocery store and think, what the fuck is she? What the hell? Because you don't know that when you leave the grocery store, that they don't just go and get into their car and there was this book that their friend recommended that they never really wanted to listen to, but for some reason after looking at you in the grocery store, they're just curious and they go and press play, and it's an Eckhart Tolle book. Or it's Marianne Williamson. Or it's any of these other people who've been out there for years teaching. Perhaps it's just listening to a podcast. Perhaps it's just turning on music and for the first time the song actually hits them in a place that it never hit them before. We don't know how our frequency actually affects the world. What we do know is that our frequency does affect the world. Girl preach. Yes. Remember. I wish that like Facebook and Instagram wouldn't cut me off when I played music. Google this woman, everyone, right now. Lizzie Jeff, Goddess Codes. Right now, go fucking do it. I promise you it's worth it. I'm going to leave the link. Again, Facebook, link it. Instagram, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Lizzie Jeff. Goddess Code. I really wish that it would let me play it. It won't let me play it. It will literally cut me off, but it's so good. In the book, not in the book, in the song, she says, I am all that I preach to be. Vibe it out. Smoke this leaf with me. Astral projection through frequency. It's such a good song. Go fucking listen. I've been listening to it since like August, pretty much every day when I get ready in the morning. It's amazing, right? Compassion, forgiveness, live with more intention, speak life, give thanks, stay dedicated to ascension. That is your fucking job. That's it. Nothing else. No one else matters. Nothing else matters. You stay dedicated to ascension right here. Stay in your motherfucking lane. Put your blinders on, fingers up, stay in your lane. Don't allow yourself to get blindsided. Stay in your lane. And I promise you that as you do that, you are going to grow and get bigger and get bigger. 3 years ago, if you would have told me that I had tens of thousands of people around the world that listen to me every single morning or every single Sunday, who followed me on social media, who are listening to what I teach, I would have laughed in your fucking face. Now I'm getting ready to build this. I'm in the middle of building this huge project that, yes, it's going to take years. But I'm not going to cut down my sycamore tree ever again. You're not going to see that happening. I have put my pipe bombs away after this week. And you're going to see it. You're going to watch the shift happening in real time. That's why I show up every week. It's why I give you real life scenarios, because I'm a real person. I'm a suburban housewife. I have 3 kids. I also have a twin flame who came together with me 6 months ago and has called me the fuck out as we went through hell together. And now that we have gone to hell, we have found so much love within ourselves that we are radiating so brightly, and we continue to emanate this light, constantly emanating this light from our own higher hearts. The most beautiful thing about coming together with your twin flame is recognizing that we could never see each other again in human form, and yet we are connected, and knowing that we will continue to do this work. Now, of course, we're going to see each other. We're building a fucking business together, but that's the thing that so many people don't understand about this journey, especially when you're wanting this whole, first of all, anybody who wants it, warning label, but for those of you who are here to play that game, It's necessary for you to understand that you could barely meet your twin flame for just a second, just scrape by them, and you are still going to be coming together in the unconscious realms, right? From higher heart to higher heart connection. What level are you playing the twin flame game? I don't know. Are you even playing it? I don't know. You know. You'll come to me if you are. Are you here as 144, one of the 144,000? I don't know. Most likely you are, because I am an activator for the 144,000. Not all superconscious leaders are twin flames. Not all superconscious leaders are 144,000. Every superconscious leader, every person ready to lead the world, their families, their own life, their families, their communities, their countries, their companies, from a space of unconditional love, even though they're pissed off at how fucked the world is, they still love it all. They feel it all. Because when you can feel it all, when you actually feel all of the emotions and you don't cut them off, you don't say, oh, I can only be happy. Oh, I have to be this. You can get off on life. You can be so tapped in, so tuned in, so turned on that you radiate Christ consciousness throughout the entire planet. Christ consciousness is very simple. Christ consciousness is the knowing within every fiber of your being that you are the creator manifest in form. That you are the vibration and the shift that is changing the planet. I'm going to close today by reading to you the 1111 prayer. This is a prayer that Dylan and I downloaded when we were in Sedona, right? When we first were coming into our divine union over 1111. It was a really crazy fucking trip, but you know, it is what it is. And we read this at the beginning of all of our live events, but I'm gonna end our live stream with this. So if you have any final questions, I'm gonna give us all a second. I want to read any final questions because I do want to close out with this and just let it sit with you guys, and I'll end the lives after I finish reading it. So if you have any final questions or anything, put those in real quick. Check Instagram real quick again. Okay, thank you. You're welcome, everyone. Grateful this can be played back. Must share my... Yes, amazing. I think some people might get confused by the Christ consciousness term and think that it's Christian. Oh, yeah. So thank you so much. See, I'm so glad. So those people who get confused by the term Christ consciousness, Christ was an amazing example of knowing yourself in human form as the creator. Okay. So literally in front of me right now, I have two books. One is called the Sophia Code. One is called the Magdalene Manuscript. Both of them talk about Christ in not a Christian way at all. In fact, the Christian church, the Catholic Church, has bastardized a lot of what Jesus was teaching, especially when it comes to sex magic and your ability to move the kundalini within you, your serpents, right? So I've talked about the black serpent that comes up the left side and the gold serpent that comes up the right side, that kundalini dragon energy that comes together. Christ was just consciously aware of the fact that he could manifest, right? He turned 2 loaves of bread and a couple of fish into enough food to feed thousands, right? That's what it really is. Christ consciousness is knowing yourself as the creator in form, commanding miracles. You command them. Again, not because you're leaving or running away from anything, but because you know what you're going for, what you're going towards. What are you moving towards? What we're moving towards is new earth. What we're moving towards is unconditional love. What we're moving towards is pure superhuman. Like, it will seem superhuman. We'll be able to teleport across the planet. We'll be able to have these conversations. It won't be on this. It'll be literally like just mind to mind, right? Telepathy. We'll be able to have conversations with beings that are in higher planes of dimensions that right now, because of where we're stuck globally, we can't have conversations with them. We know that the Pleiadians and the Syrians and the Lyrans and all of them are here supporting us, but a lot of you can't see them the way that I see them or others do, right? That's okay. You will, or you'll hear them or feel them, smell them, whatever works, whichever clair ability you have the strongest. Okay. Instagram, I'm about to lose you, so we're going to read the prayer. Okay. Goddess of the moon, we look to you. Father of the sky, shine down bright. Cousins in the stars, guide us in the night. Fill us with love, fill us with light. Golden rays of Christ shine bright. We are the shift. We are the world. Hold on. Insta, I love you. I'm sorry. Okay, Facebook, it's just us. We're gonna start it again because I lost Instagram and I want to read the whole thing. Yes. Why you're rewatching Star Trek. Carla, I fucking love you that you're rewatching Star Trek. You guys know that I talk about my Trekkiness all the time. I'm just gonna jump on Instagram and read them the prayer later. Yes. We are creating like that energy. Every human being having access to having their root base needs met, right? Staying fully connected and aligned with that knowing within their hearts and souls that they are supported. So clean water, healthy foods, shelter, education for every man, woman, and child on this planet. That is what New Earth is. So thank you for that, Carla. I'm so stoked. Let me, if you ever want to geek out about Star Trek, you guys just let me know. So let's read the 11:11 prayer. We're going to do this for real this time. Taking a nice deep breath in. Goddess of the moon, we look to you. Father of the sky, shine down bright. Cousins in the stars, guide us in the night. Fill us with love, fill us with light. Golden rays of Christ shine bright. We are the shift, let the world be light. Keys and codes enter our aura. Disconnecting, we are slaves no longer. Give us the throne we were born to sit on. Light the fire within our hearts. We are creator. We are God. Break the bonds and limitations. We are the wave. We are the vibration. Break free from the illusion, the shackles of time. Let go of the bondage. Embrace the shine. The time is now. No need to know how. For us to find. We have arrived. We are the light in the night. We are the thunder and the lightning. We are the storm. We break the night. Sat Nam. Sat Nam, everybody. I love you.